Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. I want to share this. Now, I had a few people get upset with me over a period of time, and it started during the month of February, which is Black History Month. I was accused of being divisive because I showed up as black. Now, I'm cool with people, or the general consensus was that I'm cool with people as long as I stick to just basic interpretations of scripture and leave myself out of it. I'm sorry. When you show up to share the gospel, when you show up to speak a word, when you show up to talk about faith and a faith walk, guess what one of the common denominators is? You. You are the vessel. And I guess I was cool with people as long as I was an empty vessel. You know, a talking head, if you will. And that is problematic for, I want to say, ministry in general. People want to be talked to and come away feeling good about themselves as opposed to being challenged for growth, as opposed to understanding or attempting to understand what is being conveyed. So when I showed up as my authentic black self, when I showed up as a person who was talking social justice as part of ministry, when I showed up as talking about injustice, when I showed up talking about, righteousness and what that looks like, when I showed up talking about fallacy and fallibility, people got upset and wanted to tell me that I was being divisive. You're okay with me as long as I live in this quality that you and systems that you enjoy put me in. I want you to think about that. You're okay with me living in what is essentially a food desert, an economic prison, separate but equal, and segregation has now been legalized again. You're okay with that. But you want to sing Kumbaya. I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about it not from your perspective of, dare I say, privilege, but I want you to think about it as an individual that is stuck in that cycle. And it is a cycle because it's institutionalized and it is perpetuated because it is taught generationally. I know you've heard that if your mother and father lived with poor financial stewardship or didn't have, an economic foundation, the chances are highly probable that you won't either. Think about that. Now, I want you to think about folks in the Appalachia, folks in the Delta, and basically folks that you wouldn't even think of, because Nebraska is getting ready to go bankrupt. Um, and that was all based on institutional and systemic racism. I want you to think about anything else. I want you to think about institutional and systemic racism. What you've been taught, what you need to learn to deconstruct. I'm going to share a story about privilege in a minute, but I want to really highlight this for people, because folks don't seem to understand or don't want to understand, the real dynamics of this country. Now I'm going to share something from the actual news, because we're still living the lie and loving the lie. When Project 2025 was discovered, the majority of the rich Republicans denied that it ever existed. It went all the way up to the head of this administration. I don't know what you're talking about. And day by day, page by page, we're operating in this playbook. Some of you didn't even bother to read Project 2025 because you were told that it was a lie, and you believe everything that you hear. This quote came from the news the other day. And it was a Republican rep, and he actually quoted a Nazi. Now, no, we're not white Christian nationalists. No, oh no. No, we're not Nazis. No, we're not racist. No, we're not. This man sat in front of a group of people and quoted Joseph Goebbels, a notorious Nazi. And what he said was, it is the absolute right of the state to supervise the formation of public opinion. And I think that may be what we're discussing here. You're not even sure of the conversation. I think that's what we may be discussing here. Or maybe that was said tongue in cheek in order to, lighten the mood of mind manipulation, information manipulation. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. But the man is quoted as saying this. Joseph Goebbels. Now, I quote a lot of people during my videos, but I don't think I would quote a Nazi war criminal. Now, I quote a lot of black activists who were labeled radical because they were demanding justice and equality. And people at the time weren't ready to hear it or weren't ready to give it. Not that what we were asking we were going to take anyway, because it is a human right. But people don't seem to think that people of color are entitled to any rights. They must be managed, according to this quote. This quote reminds me of something that my father used to say that irritated me to no end. And that is, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. Like you're incapable of formulating an opinion, or, your actions were just out of line because he did not tell you what to do. You didn't have free will. Free will is a gift from God. Anything trying to control that free will is power mongering. Now, I had to learn this in life because I am stubborn and I have to, process a lot of things. And, I learned this in my dysfunction in a relationship. Power mongering. Does that create a genuine connection? Or does that leave you hollow and wanting for more, so you seek more control? Think about it.